Hello and welcome into Las Vegas Ballpark. You're tuned into The Catch. My name is Matt Neverett, and today we're going to take a look around the current world of baseball along with some Aviators news and what's going on right here at Las Vegas Ballpark. We got a beautiful setting that is being used. We'll tell you how. Right now we're coming to you from our Playstudios Club, normally open to club season ticket holders during the season, but during the recent months, it's been used as a versatile event space, including any kind of award ceremony, parties, corporate meetings that you can think of. It's even been the host of an acoustic Winona Judd set. So our Playstudios Club, absolutely outstanding. Founded by gaming executive Andrew Pascal in 2011, Playstudios has established itself as a game changer in the social casino industry with the introduction of its My Vegas Facebook page. Go check out Playstudios at playstudios.com, that My Vegas Facebook page. Here at the My Studios Club, we got $1 million kitchen, 26 TVs, a full-service bar. It's one of my absolute favorite areas here at Las Vegas Ballpark. Welcome back into The Catch. We're here at Las Vegas Ballpark, which is the new home of the Las Vegas Aviators after the club spent 36 years at Cashman Field. They broke ground on the ballpark on February 23rd of 2018, a day in which we actually saw snow here in Las Vegas, a definite rarity. The ballpark itself cost $150 million to build and took just over 410 days to build. By comparison, Camden Yards in Baltimore was built in 1992 by HOK Architects, who also built Las Vegas Ballpark. It took them almost 3 years to build Camden Yards and over $120 million. So the Las Vegas Ballpark was a grand undertaking, and they did a great and quick job. The actual contractor itself here in Las Vegas was Hunt and Penta. They built a beautiful ballpark which can seat over 10,000 for a baseball game. In fact, opening day of the 2019 season, we fit 11,036 fans here. Can also jam up to 15,000 spectators here for a concert. So a versatile venue space, not just for baseball here at Las Vegas Ballpark. Welcome back into The Catch. I'm Matt Neverett, joined by Aviators Media Relations Director Jim Gemma. Big thanks for joining us here on our inaugural edition. One of the main things I brought you in here to do was we're going to talk about some current events going on around baseball, but there is nobody better in the team's history, as far as the team's history, than you. You have every stat, every number that you could think of, so I thought who better to bring in for this first installment of The Catch. We'll get right to it. 2019, great season for the Aviators in many ways, many awards, many accolades, a playoff berth in year number one. If you could single out one memory from the first season here at Las Vegas Ballpark in the history of the Aviators, what would be that moment?
Well, I think, opening night was so festive with the fact that we had 15 straight sellouts and just the enthusiasm of the downtown Summerlin area. It was just a hub. It's just the players just absolutely loved playing in this, the finest facility in all of, minor league baseball.
You said you had the 15 straight sellouts to start the season. It was 46 sellouts in all. You led minor league baseball in total attendance and attendance per game. What was that like? Just seeing what the environment was like at Cashman Field, moving to the new ballpark. You got the new digs. Everything's new and fancy as is. But just to have the support from the local community and people curious about the new ballpark, what was that like to play in front of just so many enthusiastic fans every night?
Yeah, everything fell into place. And being the first year with the A's, everything was totally rebranded to the Aviators from the new stadium, new affiliate. And the A's are always really good to field a competitive AAA team, and that's what we had here last year. Again, the players just love playing here, playing in front of the fans. Because obviously half the time they're not here, but the other 70 games, it's just a great showcase for them. All the player stuff underneath, the player workouts, the areas at the weight room, the clubhouses, and for the visiting team too. It just lends to a great place to play.
And yeah, all the sellouts, all the accolades, all the awards. And the team on the field made a playoff berth. What was playoff baseball like here at the new ballpark?
Yeah, it was great. We opened, that first series against Sacramento. You got to give Sacramento a lot of credit. They came back from a 2-1 deficit to win the series on that Sunday. And, Sacramento went on to win the PCL championship over Round Rock, and then they won the AAA national championship game. So kudos to Sacramento. But the Aviators had a really good run and took the series that they were in to 5 games, and unfortunately they lost in the deciding game.
Yeah, really, in all sense and purposes, it was an outstanding first season, named as the Team of the Year by Ballpark Digest. It was the Ballpark of the Year, the Grounds Crew of the Year, the Playing Surface of the Year, any award possible. The Las Vegas Aviators and Las Vegas Ballpark really took it home. So like you said, just an outstanding first year. Let's take a look now. We're in present day 2020. It's an entirely different climate, both at the major and minor league level. What's it been like for you here at the AAA level? Obviously, the workload a little bit less. What have you been doing to keep busy, and work-wise, what's it been like for you this season?
Yeah, I mean, for all of us in the front office, it's really, lack of a better word, it's been traumatic for everyone in minor league baseball. I had 160 teams, and you didn't get to play, and it's just been an incredible 2020 as far as not a good 2020, but a lot of administrative duties we've had, and we're just pushing ahead. We're looking forward to the fall, that the season would have been over on September 7th, and you really start focusing the 2021 season.
And as far as current events, you've had a lot of time to kind of hang out and take in what's been going on around baseball. Obviously, the major leagues playing a 60-game schedule, a couple of rule changes, the universal DH, the runner starting out an extra inning on second base. What's been your, summation of the season in your own words thus far in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, it's quite funny how everybody's kind of talking about the extra inning rule. They've used this in the minor leagues for the past 3 or 4 years. So actually, at first, I don't think we really liked it, but it kind of grows on you. And it's kind of a good rule, because I know the players don't want to play 18 innings, and sometimes that prevents that rule from playing 18 innings. But it's kind of a nice twist. I wouldn't be surprised if the 2021 season MLB will look to institute that rule. We'll see how that plays out. But the bottom line is they're trying to, lack of a better word, barrel through 60 games, get to the playoffs in October, and they'd be real fortunate to get the season in, get the playoffs into the Fall Classic, and call it a year, and hopefully we can get back to something close to normal in 2021 with fans in the seats for minor league baseball and the 30 Major League Baseball teams. And that goes for the NHL, the NBA, and the Raiders are going to have that situation coming up in the fall.
Especially here in Vegas, where there's kind of always something going on. We're going to be looking for that. As far as early season leaders, I guess we're into the middle of the season now. Who has been a more surprising outbreak player to you? Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies, or Shane Bieber of the Indians? Blackmon hitting in the 430s, tied for the National League in RBIs pretty much every day. And then Shane Bieber has led an outstanding Indians starting pitching crew. Leads Major League Baseball in wins and strikeouts right now. Which one of those two has been more surprising for you?
Well, I mean, Charlie Blackmon's kind of an established player. He's always been a really good hitter, but Bieber's been an outstanding player for the Indians. Of course, they were here for Big League Weekend. We had a chance to see the Indians play the A's, and obviously, I'm sure you're going to mention Fernando Tatis.
He was next.
Yeah, I mean, for the Padres. Unfortunately, we saw it more than we wanted to here the past few years with El Paso. AAA El Paso is the affiliate of the Padres. Outstanding farm system. And a lot of those guys now that played in El Paso that we saw are really helping San Diego. And obviously Jorge Mateo, who we loved here with the Aviators last year, was traded to San Diego just before the season started. He made his Major League debut a few days ago.
And to wrap up here, wanted to bring up Fernando Tatis Jr. because he was in some hot water recently. He hit his second home run of a game in which the Padres were just absolutely blowing out the Rangers. I believe it was a 7-run lead with the bases loaded in the late innings, and he swung on a 3-0 pitch down the middle, hit it out of the park for his second home run of the game. It was a grand slam. The Rangers were none too happy about it. He was swinging 3-0, up by 7 runs with the bases loaded. He just happened to hit it out because that's all that he's been doing this year is hitting home runs. So what's your opinion? I guess the big debate is the unwritten rules of baseball. It's an old school versus new school debate. Wanted to get your opinion on that. What is your thoughts on Fernando Tatis Jr. allegedly breaking the unwritten rules there on 3-0?
Well, as you know, there's a lot of unwritten rules in baseball, and ironically, the manager for the Texas Rangers is Chris Woodward, who played with the 51s when we were a Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, and he was third base coach for the Dodgers. So, there's two schools of thought on it. I mean, the bottom line is, I guess you don't throw him a really good pitch to hit on 3-0. You don't put it right down the middle, but again, it is what it is. Like you said, he hit it out to the opposite field. So this is kind of 2020 baseball now.
It's the way that goes, right? I mean, and I'm of the opinion, let the kids play. Let him have some fun. He doesn't know any better. He's still just a 21-year-old kid, right?
He's an excellent player. We all knew that, him coming through the system. He's, obviously his dad was a really good player. So again, I think we're talking about 2020 baseball versus something 10, 15 years ago.
And he said it best. Tatis Jr., to his credit, after the game did say, "This is a learning experience for me. Maybe next time."
Yeah.
Welcome back into the Catch here at Las Vegas Ballpark. I'm Matt Neverett, joined by Aviators Media Relations Director Jim Gemma. Big thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
So we're going to take a look at a couple of different topics here going around current events in Major League Baseball, one of which has been stemming for the last couple of years, and it's Major League Baseball versus the Astros. We got some specific examples from this year. We had the whole Joe Kelly, Carlos Correa fiasco with the Dodgers reliever throwing behind a couple of Astros players, namely the Astros shortstop Carlos Correa. They didn't take too kindly to that. And then Ramon Laureano literally charging at the Astros and their bench and their coaching staff, which that's a whole thing in and of itself. But this has really been an issue for Major League Baseball over the last year or so. Since the Astros cheating scandal really came out and developed, it's been a problem for the front offices of Major League Baseball to try and keep everybody kind of off the Astros' back, and we're seeing it around this year. So what do you make of that? These teams not letting their feelings be hidden, their disdain for the Astros, really.
Yeah, I think it was going to be inevitable. A lot of the players are very upset over all this, so I'm not surprised the players have decided to police this on the field. So it probably won't be the last time you're going to see something like this, unfortunately. That's just the way it goes. The players are, they're involved with this now, and they're kind of enforcing things the way they want to enforce things.
And that's been how baseball's kind of always been, right? That is one of the biggest tenets of the old school mentality of baseball is we'll take care of it on the field within ourselves. The players have always liked to keep it in-house, and this is kind of almost hearkening back to that, right?
Yeah, they're basically looking at things between the chalk lines with the incident with the Dodgers and with the A's with Laureano, who got hit 3 times, but obviously there's other things involved with Cintron kind of egging him on. So yeah, we probably have not seen the last of this.
Yeah, it's going to be something that will go throughout the next couple of years until the old guard really kind of goes out. But it kind of brings me into my next topic, because everybody kind of has a rivalry now with the Astros. We're going to look at the best rivalries in baseball right now, and the rivalry that everybody brings up is Red Sox, Yankees. No matter which side you're on, the recent facts don't lie. I couldn't believe this. The Red Sox have lost now 10 in a row to the Yankees, including a recent 4-game sweep at Yankee Stadium. They're just 1-15 at Yankee Stadium since they won the World Series in 2018. So I don't know if Red Sox-Yankees, as of right now, is the best rivalry in baseball. What do you think?
Yeah, with Mookie Betts going to the Dodgers, obviously the Red Sox are rebuilding, and the Yankees are who they are right now. They got an excellent team. So yeah, they're kind of beating up on the Red Sox right now. I actually saw that stat the other day, and that is
it's crazy.
It's tough. That is definitely a big time rival, goes way back, and right now definitely the Yankees have the upper hand for sure.
And what do you think right now? Best rivalry in baseball, present day?
Well, I tell you what, Houston and Oakland's pretty good, because they're going to be playing each other a lot between now and the end of September. So that's pretty heated, just what the history of it is. Right now, the A's going into a couple of days ago had the best record in Major League Baseball. So again, they got to play a couple more home and homes. So we'll see how that kind of transpires.
And I think it'll be interesting too, come playoff time, especially come World Series time. If we can get that Dodgers-Astros World Series again, I mean that's going to be as heated a playoff matchup as we've seen in a long time. There's a couple of other rivalries that are kind of historic. Cubs-Cardinals, is that one that kind of can get that credence as the best in baseball in your opinion, right? Or as of right now, at least.
Definitely, when you have fans in the stadium at Wrigley
that helps
and
for
Busch,
sure.
It's they hate each other, which is good in sports. But really, the Dodgers Yankees, as far as the old traditional of baseball, that would really be the great World Series in the Fall Classic in October if those two teams can find their way there.
And one other thing, kind of combining the two topics that we've been talking about, are these socially distanced fights. It's kind of funny to see. We've been talking about, a manager gets all upset, and normally you run right up to the umpire, get in their face. There's usually some spit coming out,
yes.
And with everything going on nowadays, you got the managers running around, slapping the mask on as they're running, and with the Joe Kelly and the Ramon Laureano situations with the Astros, you got these guys kind of coming together. But Major League Baseball is being very strict. They reduced the suspension for both Kelly and Laureano, but that was after a lot of back and forth and that was after some really tough initial penalties. So what do you think about the way that Major League Baseball has kind of been handling those so far this season?
Yeah, I mean, the lack of a better word, they're going to barrel through 60 games. I mean, I don't. That's probably the best word for it, as they're approaching the halfway mark. And yeah, it is. The manager from afar yelling at the ump with the mask on, but they're between the chalk lines once the game starts. I mean, they're obviously focused on. It's been some pretty good baseball under really tough circumstances. I know the players and the coaches and everybody miss the fans.
Yeah.
It's really crazy just seeing an empty Yankee Stadium, an empty Dodger Stadium. It's been a very unique, to say the least, 2020. But, again, they're just, trying to barrel through this and, just see if we can get to the Fall Classic in October. But, yeah, the Dodgers-Yankees, you're talking about rivals. That would really be the icing on the cake.
That might be the premier matchup in Major League
Absolutely.
Baseball right now. Like you just said, the credit to the players and the coaches for trying to do a normal season. It's impossible to be normal, but really there has not been a drop-off in the quality of play.
Yeah, I mean, like the other night, Chapman came in for the Yankees. He hit 100. That was the first time back. He's been coming off the DL. Even in AAA, in the Pacific Coast League, these guys throw so hard, and they make it look so easy. These professional major league athletes, this sport is so hard to play, and again, they make it look so easy. That just goes to show you how elite athlete these guys are.
Yeah, done a great job this year. We're going to dive right in. A lot of new sabermetrics coming out. Wins above replacement is one that is as prevalent in baseball as it comes. For those of you that don't know, it basically just surmises the number of wins that a player is worth either hitting or pitching. For reference, Jim, the major league leader in batting WAR right now, it's not Mike Trout, not Fernando Tatis Jr., it's not anyone that you would have guessed. It's Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays. His wins above replacement is at 1.5 right now. We're about halfway through the season. It's going to be a very abbreviated season, so the numbers are going to be less. WAR is a new sabermetric. There's a new school versus old school debate going on in pretty much every aspect of baseball right now. What merit do you think, as someone who looks at stats and numbers every day, that a lot of the new metrics have in today's game?
Yeah, there's a lot of newfound statistics in the old-fashioned way, so to speak, to do things. But, to me, again, the guy obviously drives and runs, hits the long ball. Runs scored is very important. On base percentage, walks hit by pitch, like you said, OPS. Those are really the important stats. But analytics goes on and on and on, like launch angle, the way he hits it off his bat. And that, has predicated the shifts more than anything.
Are you a fan of the shift? Because I've heard different schools of thought, and even from a lot of old school guys that I've talked to that you would think are against it, there is kind of a more favorable opinion of the shift nowadays. What about you personally? Do you like the advanced shifting in today's baseball?
Yes and no. When it gets to, like, all of a sudden there's four guys on the right side of the infield, and Matt Olson had the right idea the other day, left-handed hitter for the A's. He just dropped a bunt down third base. And you start doing that, and the shift will go away a little bit. It will shift the other way, pardon the pun. But, yeah, the shift is really, the past few years has been, even in, the minor league system, even when we were with the Mets, the 6 years we were with the Mets, they shifted a lot. The A's didn't shift as much, but it just depends on the team and with the shifts.
Well, we talked about Tampa Bay. I think they shift just about as much as anybody. The major league leader in shifts, I bet you can't guess who it is right now.
I wouldn't even hazard to guess.
It's the New York Yankees.
Really?
Which is not a team. When I heard that the other day with Matt Vasgersian on Sunday Night Baseball and they were playing the Red Sox, said that the Yankees lead Major League Baseball in shifts. And I was very surprised about that because that's not a team that you would associate with being ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. But, even the teams like the Yankees who are, we're going to do it our way, we're going to do it the way that we have done it for so long, even those teams are finding kind of new ways to do things, and the game is changing. You talked about launch angle. We're talking about the shifts. Are you a fan of a lot of these changes? I know you're an old school guy. You like the old school stats. What about the style of play on the field? Are you a fan of how it's shifting to the three true outcomes, more or less, as the home run, the walk, or the strikeout?
Well, there's just so much athletic ability out there now with the new players coming in. And, there's one thing about the shift. If you have a left-handed hitter up and he just wants a dead pull hit all day, then they're going to keep shifting. Like Matt Olson, you don't have to bunt every time, but if you look to hit the other way, after a while, it's going to, shift more than it would, normally do. It just depends if the hitter, sometimes they're stubborn too. They're set in their ways, how they're going to hit, and that again is, that's why the shifts are happening.
Yeah, I think that's becoming more prevalent too. Is you got these left-handed power batters, a guy like Joey Gallo, who he hits the ball hard and he pulls it. That's what he does. And I don't even know if it's being stubborn. I think it's just playing to your strengths. Joey Gallo's never going to be a guy who slaps the ball the other way down the third base line. I think with a lot of these guys, it's, hey, this is what I do. This is what got me to this point. I'm going to keep doing it. Try and stop me. So I think a lot of the shifts are trying to outdo that. But with some of these guys, it doesn't matter because they're not hitting the line drives through the gaps. They're hitting the long balls that are either caught 5 feet in front of the fence or go 100 feet beyond the fence. So I think a lot of these guys, it's this is what I do. Try and stop it.
Absolutely. Again, Joey Gallo is a perfect example, but Harper was that way too, and he still is.
More shifts against him recently,
Yes,
I've noticed.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the sabermetrics, they are changing the way the game's played. You said you're generally for it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with just the way, there's just so much information now. With Fast Track that's used here, the AAA, the farm systems, look at all this stuff. Spin, how spin per, rotation on a curveball. When we were with the Mets, Seth Lugo led all of minor league baseball in his spin rate coming off the curveball. Just stuff like that. Wow, Seth, he's got an excellent breaking ball. So there's just so much information out there now. Sometimes it'll make your head spin.
We're replacing ERA and batting average with spin rate and launch angle, right?
Right.
He's Aviators Media Relations Director Jim Gemma. Big thank you for joining us here on The Catch at Las Vegas Ballpark.
Thanks for having me on.
Did you know that during these trying times, the Aviators team store is still open for business? Oh wait, let me remove my Aviators mask. If you want an Aviators mask like this, as well as team apparel, caps, and whatever else you're looking for, you can visit us online at aviators.milbstore.com or by clicking the link below in the description. You can also come shopping in person here at beautiful Las Vegas Ballpark. Our team store hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're a season ticket holder, you also get 20% off your purchase here at the team store at Las Vegas Ballpark. Be sure to check it out in the link below as well.